shout your praise. Say, everything within me will shout your praise. Everything within me will shout your praise. Oh, yeah. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. We'll shout. We'll shout your praise. Oh,
want to take a few moments to recognize some very special people with us today, and those are our first-time visitors. So if it is your very first time worshiping at Fcbc, would you stand at this time and remain standing? With you on this morning, on this Father's Day. So if there are any fathers in the audience, happy Father's Day to you. FCBC, the entire FCBC family welcomes you, and we hope that you're enjoying this worship experience on this morning. It is also our social media Sunday. So at this time, we want to do a little something special. We would like for you to take out your smartphones, and we want you to do something. We want you to take selfies, especially if you're with your father, especially take a selfie with him. And we want you to use the hashtag FCBC on purpose. Post to your Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at this time while we greet our visitors and each other. Go ahead and do that post. You can go ahead and start making your way back to your seat. All right. We are also celebrating something else very special on this morning. Our Dream Center turns 5 today. Dream Center is a non-religious space that offers free programming, free resources to the community. Everything is open to all ages, and everything is free. So if you have not visited our Dream Center, please make sure that you visit our space, as well as you can visit the Dream Center online at dreamcenterharlem.org. At this time, we want to show a video to you, and we want to invite you to complete a survey so that we can get some more information on how you want to see the Dream Center shaped in the future. So at this time, if you would please turn your attention to the video.
Hey FCBC, it's Desiree, the executive visionary over at the Dream Center. The Dream Center has been a transformative space for thousands of people to recognize and realize their dreams. We are so excited this year because we are turning 5 years old. Woo! We want to hear from you. Today in service, you should have received a paper survey. If you didn't, you can raise your hand and an usher can bring one to you. If you want to save a tree, you don't have to do a paper survey. You can totally go to our website, www.dreamcenterharlem.org, and fill out the survey there. We're asking that everyone fill out this really quick survey. Let us know your thoughts about what you would want to see in a space that helps people actualize their dreams. We promise to take every opinion into consideration, and we are so excited about what the Dream Center will be and do in the next 5 years. Happy Sunday!
opportunity to be in this place one more time. Amen. For that, we do not take it for granted. I see some of you all fanning. I have no problem with that today. The air is blowing, but I don't know what's going on. We gotta let somebody look at it, but it's cooler than it. I mean, it ain't super hot, but I know that the air is not completely going the way it needs to, so I don't have a conflict with you all fanning today. So go ahead. Listen, happy Father's Day. Let me see. All the fathers in the house, stand to your feet. On the pre-Father's Day celebration on the last I used to complain. I can't complain anymore. Y'all stepped up. I would say a friend of mine put out a tweet. He complained. I didn't complain. But he put out a tweet, and I read between services, last service, and he said, why is it on Mother's Day we take mothers out? And he lived down south. He said, but on Father's Day, they be like, Dad, can you barbecue? But we thank God for Father's Day and all. Let me see by show of hands. How many children are here with their fathers today? Let me see the hands. Let me see the hands. Dad, make sure they take you to brunch or something like that. All right, you deserve that. All right? Tell them to go to, 2-for-1 mimosas. That's gonna get it. I'm not telling you to do it, I'm just saying, I know what they do. Listen, a couple of things before we, on next Saturday, there's a host of events that during the announcements I hope you catch. There is a landlord cafe, which is really bringing in landlords or people who have room, apartments. We want to talk about, and the city wants to talk about how the city will subsidize if you help people move from homelessness and transition into housing, how the city will subsidize. So we're having landlords and people at space on next Saturday. So we want to help you help other people. And then also is our Bless the Block. It's a day where we, the volunteers, those who volunteer at Fcbc, will go out and we'll be handing out food, lunches, and praying for people, praying for dreams. All that is on next Saturday. Both of those events are from 10 to 2. And then at 4 p.m., we have the first town hall sponsored by our new state senator, who's an Fcbc member, Brian Benjamin. And I think that's going to be great at 4 p.m., not just for you to hear what he wants to do, but for you all to express to him concerns, issues, desires. That's going to be next Saturday at 4 p.m. here as well. Also, don't forget, it was announced last week, we'll continue to announce it, that as part of our Sabbath month, our month of renewal and rest at Fcbc, we shut down everything in July, no meetings, no TNT. It's also going to be a time of giving a break and rest to those who work on Sundays. And so in the month of July, our services will be only 2 services at 8 and 11. Do not forget, if you walk in at 7:30, you're going to get the best seat in the house. Nobody else is going to be here. And if you walk in at 11:30, you're going to be kind of upset. So 8 and 11, beginning on July 2nd. 5 Sundays in July. And so just want to remind everyone of that as well. Good. Come on, stand on your feet today. And before we go any further, let us together declare our purpose statement. Those of you who are visiting, it'll be on the screen. You can say it with us. You don't have to be a Christian. You can be a person who believes in God, who follows God. And take this to heart. This is a transcendent statement. No matter who you are, where you are, you can recite these words and they give life and give hope. And if you, again, are a visitor, you stay with us. If you're a consistent visitor or member and you don't know it all the way, I'm talking like this to give you a chance to look at the screen and get smart if you don't remember. I'm killing some time so you can look up now. I see some of y'all looking now on the low. Let's get that one line that you don't always get right. You can get it now, all right? All right, we're going to say that. Let's say that together. We are an ever-evolving community. Called to live, commanded to love, commissioned to serve. And if you have a hard time with all those words, come on. Live, love, serve. Live, love, serve. There's no way you can go wrong if those three words shape your life. Live the life that God has shaped, ordained, created for you. The life that God created for you. I'm going to say it again. The life that God created for you. Not the life that other people want for you. The life that God created for you. And then commanded to love beyond the limits of our prejudices. There's enough hate in this world. Someone has to begin to show another way. And that means for all of us. Because even those of us who think we're not prejudiced, there's a little piece sometimes in us. And so you got to learn to love what? Beyond that. Past that. Through that. And then finally, commissioned to serve. That is it. There's nothing, I think, more depleting and debilitating to a human being if you can go through this life without giving to other people, giving your time, serving other people. That's what this life is about. You ought not ever want to be the person who sucks all the air and life out of the room when you step in. You ought to be someone who invests in other people, that you make other people better. You don't have to worry about your legacy when you spend your time investing in other people. That's what it is. So live, love, serve. I want today to go back. All three services, including this one, we've been going from the same scripture, just different portions of the story. It is the story of the prodigal son. Many of us know this. I tell people these labels we place on stories sometimes are so limiting because the truth of the matter is that I imagine that if Jesus tells this story, although it is known as the prodigal son, has to be more about the father of the prodigal son. I tell people this story is one of those, I think, beautiful glimpses into the mind and spirit of Jesus. You know, the story is part of a kind of a trilogy of stories, the lost sheep, lost coin, and now the lost son. The beauty of these three stories, as they are given by Jesus and told, are in reaction to others, religious leaders and the like, who are angry at Jesus because of the kind of people he hangs out with. And in some translations, they label the people as scoundrels. You know, people who have bad reputations, people who folk don't like to necessarily be around. Isn't it amazing that those of us who claim to love Jesus, follow Jesus, run away from the people we need to be with most? And get this, unlike Jesus, we spend more time judging people like that than loving people like that. Right? And this is the ministry of Jesus. That's why it blows my mind when people who claim to love the Lord are so hypercritical of other people who don't have it all together. Like you always that way. That's deep to me. Isn't it amazing how success can create amnesia? You're doing well now. Like you've always been like that. Things getting better. You know, don't forget that you weren't always here. And if you were always there, then remember your job to help somebody else get there. Right? Ain't nothing wrong being born on third base. As long as you know that you didn't work to get it, somebody else did that. And you do it for someone else, right? So, Luke 15. I want to begin reading in verse 20. Luke 15, and I'm reading in the Message Bible. You can read along, watch along on the screen. When he was still a long way off, his father saw him, his heart pounding. He ran out, embraced him, and kissed him. The son started his speech. Father, I've sinned against God. I've sinned before you. I don't deserve to be called your son ever again. But the father wasn't listening. He was calling to the servants, quick, bring a clean set of clothes and dress him. Put the family ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Then get a grain-fed heifer and roast it. we're going to feast. We're going to have a wonderful time. My son is here, given up for dead, and now alive, given up for lost, and now found. And they began to have what? A wonderful time. Come on, let's pray. God, thank you for this wonderful time you've given us. Time we come, oh God, to celebrate and acknowledge you corporately. But, oh God, individually, oh God, we are grateful for your grace. That grace is meant more for us than sometimes we even know. Not just for its sufficiency, but for its all-encompassing love. Thank you, God, for loving us. Thank you for welcoming us. Thank you, oh God, for always being hopeful for us. For you always see possibility, even when other people see a problem. God, thank you for loving us. Loving us back to wholeness, loving us back to our right mind. Thank you, God. Many of us in here have a testimony that many people gave up on us. But God, you kept chasing us down, pursuing us with goodness and mercy. For that we say thank you. Now, oh God, let your word do its own work. We will get out of the way and let you be God all by yourself today. Thank you, Lord. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Remain standing with me. Let me read that passage again in your hearing. Luke 15, beginning at verse 20. When he was still a long way off, his father saw him. His heart pounded. He ran out, embraced him, and kissed him. The son started his speech. Father, I've sinned against God. I've sinned before you. I don't deserve to be called your son ever again. The father wasn't listening. He was calling for the servants. Quick, bring a clean set of clothes and dress him. Put the family ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Then get a grain-fed heifer and roast it. We are going to feast. We're going to have a wonderful time. My son is here, given up for dead and now alive, given up for lost and now found. And they began to have a wonderful time. Amen? Amen. Come on, put your hands together. Give the Lord a hand. I've been in these sermons seeking to give some direction, not or advice to some fathers here today. This is not the Father's Day beat up sermon. Sometimes you hear that on Father's Day. You hear what fathers ain't doing. We need to get our act together. We don't need that. You need to be empowered, right, to do something different if that's the case. So at 7:30 service, in this story, we focused on the beginning of the story where it says, I actually love it. It says, the son came and was like, I want my portion of the inheritance. And then he got the money and bounced. And what was beautiful about it is that through all of this, unlike some of us who are fathers, and we know this is the case, when the son asked for the money and the son left, when Jesus tells this story, the father says nothing. He just complies with the son's request. And the deep thing is that this story is possibly Jesus' way of seeing God, which is different than how many of us view God. Because we think that God would be the one to kind of chastise and punish and bless or curse. But here, the father said nothing. He simply gave the son what he wanted. We don't know what the son wanted. Maybe the son had some dreams about getting away and going away somewhere. Whatever it is, here's what I told the father this morning. Look at what this father does. He says nothing, but he facilitates even the reckless dreams of his son. And maybe in some way, what if that becomes a model for what it means to be a father, where you become chief facilitator of your children's dreams, to make those dreams come to fruition. Then last service, we talked about the fact that when the son had went off to a foreign land and he blew all the money and what some translations call riotous living. Don't know what that means. I'm sure all of us have our own definition of riotous living based on experiential data that we have. Right? And it says he decided, while he needed a job, pride was keeping him from going home immediately, because here it is. I said it's amazing the stories we tell ourselves, because he thought that because he made a bad decision that his father would not welcome him back home, and so he started looking at his circumstance. He was sitting there trying to get food among the pigs, and then he was like, hold on, my father's servants like get 3 square meals a day. And people work for him, they eat it. I'm sitting out here. He was like, I'm going to go home. But in his mind, watch this, he couldn't go home the same way, because he thought the way he would have treated him was the way his father would treat him. Because he made the assumption that maybe his dad was mad, and so he had his little script. You know, how many of us grew up in church? We church, like real super church. All right, that's first test. We try to see in second test. How many of us who grew up in church, super churchy, like had your, watch this, let me see, this is language only church people know, your Easter recitation. Some people talk something. When you grew up in Sunday school at Easter, we all had our little 4 lines to remember on Easter. We had to get up. That's your little, you had to memorize it. And so that's church for. And so he decides now because he feels a certain way, that he thinks his father feels a way. But here's what it says: even though he feels this with this whole little memorized thing, I've sinned against God, I've sinned before you, I'm not worthy before your son. That's the line. It says this, and he went back home to his father. And so I told fathers that maybe, in addition to being chief facilitator, maybe your other job description is the one who keeps the door open. Because the good news is that somewhere along the line, in spite of the decision that the son made, he knew what? He could go back home. That means that his father kept the door open. And some of us have no idea how powerful that is unless you've had closed doors in your life. And to have a father who, yeah, with all the things we can be as fathers, at the end of the day says, his door is open. Yeah, come on. And now we're at this portion of the story. There are parts of this story that are beautiful, challenging, depending on your angle into the story. It can be challenging if you see yourself as the son, because I think we all, in our youthfulness, have made some decisions based on impatience. Some bad decisions that didn't always work out. And we know about that. And in our haste to correct the choice, the decision, we sometimes then make assumptions. This son made an assumption, and I just alluded to it. But the assumption was that his leaving meant a shifting in his position. Somehow, leaving home, possibly offending his father, meant he could not come back the same way. And so in his mind, my father's anger may be of such that I cannot make the assumption that I can come back home and occupy my previous position. And so he says in his speech that he's written and memorized in his mind, I'll go home, but I'll go back as a servant, watch this, because even my father's servants eat well, which is deep. That would suggest something I don't have time to expound upon, but it would say that his hunger is motivating his decision. See, I try to warn people, and sometimes my children, right? Don't be in a hurry to make life decisions when you're desperate. That's the worst time to make life-changing decisions, when you're desperate or in dire need. You don't make those decisions. And so his hunger fuels it. It is deep because he never said, I miss dad. I miss home. I miss my brother. He was like, I'm hungry. And at my dad's house, the spread is heavy. And so he goes to eat. And he goes with this story in mind. And the story is not spoken in this passage, but you know what the story is. I've already alluded to it, that his father won't really welcome him home on the same terms by which he left. And so he's willing, watch this, to forfeit his role as son to be a servant. He's ready to forfeit his identity because of false assumption. Oh man, let that sink in for a minute. His assumption has caused him to make another decision, and that is to forfeit who he is as son. And so he's ready now to go back, right, with lower status, but at least a full stomach. Man, I hope you can see that. Right? And so again, the story, in my opinion, as Jesus tells it, is not about the son. It is about dad. Dad who kept the door open. So often we talk about the son in the story, the riotous living, the decisions, living in the pigsty, that beautiful line in the story where it says, and he came to himself, he recognized who he was. The question really is, Yolanda, did he really come to himself? Did he really come to his senses when he's ready to go back as a servant? Gotta get that later. That means he never really came to himself because he's a son. And he's willing to give up sonship to be a servant. So the question is, what self did he come to? If I had some time today, I would push it. But I do? No, okay. But he came to himself. And he decides to go home. And he's ready to make the trek back home. But let's think about this for a second. The father who responds to his son's reckless request, he responds with silence. The father who must watch his baby boy, his young son, walk away to God's nowhere, God knows where, in silence. You have to believe that there's some agony with that father. You see, he does the right thing because the worst thing to do sometimes, and even in a poor decision, is to get in the way of your children. I know we don't like to hear that. I know this is challenging because we like to shape our children, warn them, give them a heads up, help them glean from our experience. But there's a fine line between giving advice and telling them how to live. And so there's a difference because some of us, in the name of advice, are not giving advice, we give directives. You know, we give directives. We don't give advice. We couch it and clothe it as advice. We're telling them what to do. And I shared this morning, as a father, as a parent, there's a danger in that because two things. We either live or try to create a reality for our children based on our failed dreams, which happens a lot, or we try to raise children through the lenses of our fears because we want to protect them. But we're not really protecting them if we're living through our fears. We're actually putting a limitation on them based on our fears. You see, the one thing we have to be able to do, no matter how sometimes poor decisions may be, is to let our children live. I've been sharing a quote that I came across at the prior 2 services, and it says this. It said, my dad never showed me how to live. He lived and let me watch. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not saying, because the worst thing to do is to sometimes, and I'm telling this as a parent, so you can't look at me and say, well, you don't know what you're talking about. No, I got 2 grown kids. I've been in this game for a minute, right? What happens sometimes, and we do it all the time, we love barking out directions to our children. The risk we take is the question is this: do we really honor the directives we give? Because ain't nothing worse than confusing our children. Saying this, don't do this, and then turn around and... You see, when I was young, I had like a radar for this stuff. A few times I dared say it, it didn't always work out for me. But ain't nothing, you teeter-tottering on the brink of existence or non-existence when you try to point out the hypocrisy of your parents and say, don't work. Don't work. Lip don't remain the same. sometimes in dishonesty because we're telling them things that we're not doing and they see it, right? And this is hard because we think that being a parent means telling what to do. We think being a parent means being Lord. You see, this is going to be hard today. I'm not telling you what I've always done, I'm telling you what I've learned. Right? And sometimes we have to be able to let our children live. And here it is. You let them live, and guess what? They may fall. But guess what? Just like you did. They may make mistakes. Like who? Just like you did. They may make poor decisions. Like who? Just like you did. But you see, that is part of the learning process. Don't stunt your child's growth because of your insecurity. Don't do that. So your role then, because you want to be the parent, right? And here it is. There's more that you can get out of children by loving more than yelling. Again, I'm speaking about what I learned. I didn't start here, let's be clear. I tell you, I became a father at 19. 19. Woo. Yeah, 19. And a week after my son was born, I turned 20. And I had to learn a lot because I was a child myself, learning. And now at 46, yeah, there are days I look back and say, man, if I could have done that different. But here's what I learned. As long as in the process I was growing and evolving and shifting, that means that I was learning and they were too. And then in the midst of that, you got to be able every now and again as a parent and go to your child. I've done it and be like, you know what? I was wrong. Because I can't stand someone who thinks that because you're a parent, that means that kids are now doing wrong. I don't like that. See, because I'm a parent don't mean I can be reckless in my acting as well. And so every now and then you got to say, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. That'll make you less of a father, less of a mother. That makes you more of a human being. Right? And so here it is. I'll be some of y'all looking sleepy. So here it is. I see y'all. Because you know, when you stand up here and you see people's eyes fading in and out, I'm going to start putting a sign on the first few rows. No nodding allowed. All right? Some of y'all on blast right now. Right? So here it is. I'll be done. And so the son decides. Now, I've heard this a month ago at a conference in Georgia with Pastor Andy Stanley. He dropped this line and it blew us out the water, those who were there. And he talked a little bit about this story. But remember this, think about the agony, the pain the father feels to see his son leave and not know where his son was. Some of us would have been angry, upset. He'll learn. And when he learns, he'll come crawling back. That's not a loving attitude. He said, Andy Stanley said, that line that I read, it said that when the son was far away, the father saw him. I'm going to get that part. And Andy Stanley dropped the line, and he said that meant that his father had his eyes on the road. You got to hear that. That means possibly from the day he left, he was looking on the road. Hopeful that what? One day, his son would come back. You see, it is hope that makes you keep the door open. Waiting for that moment. And all of us have been like the prodigal son, so to speak, who were hoping that not only could we go back home, but we would be received back home. Oh man, I'm feeling it. I'm done to say, look, the father, he had his eyes on the road. But think about it. This is possibly Jesus' understanding of God. And can you imagine the God whom you may deny, who you may fail, who you may disobey, who you don't always serve, who you don't always honor, who you don't always love. And can you imagine that God always has what? His eyes? looking for the return of his son, not angry. Maybe anguish, maybe hurt, but not angry, not mad. You see why? Because, first of all, life is short, we know this. Life is fragile, we know this. And life is too short and too fragile to spend good energy being angry. That's right. I'm talking to somebody like that. You sitting around here mad for what? Mad right now, about what? And most of the stuff you raise your blood pressure over ain't even that important. You just trying to mark off territory and take your claim and let somebody know you're mad. You ever done this? I've done it. That's what Keisha can tell you. I've done it. You ever just, now you ain't even mad no more, but you don't want the person to know you ain't mad no more. So you do what? Act mad. You do it. Keep walking out. How's your day? Alright. I ain't gonna let them know that I ain't mad no more. That's all good energy. No, I don't do that. I'm preaching to myself, by the way, right now. I used to be notorious. Used to be. A holy breath. Woo! With the Lord. And so here it is. His eyes on the road. Now watch this. I'm gonna be quick and I'm done. So you go to brunch with your dad.
Take your time.
Look at all this happening in the scene. Can you see it? The son is on his way home with his Easter recitation. Can you see him walking? I've sinned against God, and I sinned before you. I'm not worthy to be called your son. Take me back and serve it. And he's saying this because you don't want to mess up the lines. I've sinned against God, and I've sinned before you. I'm not worthy to be called your son. Take me back and serve it. Now, and you know how it is when you're trying to remember something, you be like eyes closed, memorizing your head. Now you're trying to get it right. And this is the beauty. While he was reciting this, he didn't realize that his dad's eyes were on the road. Oh my God. He didn't even realize that while he's already ready to accept a lower position, his father has not changed his attitude. And so, watch this. This is why I like the message box. See, maybe I'm getting excited. Y'all not excited yet, but okay. Look what it says in verse 20. When he was still a long way off, his father saw him. Watch the language. His heart pounding. His heart pounding at the sight of his son. Can you, come on, you gotta feel it. There's an excitement now bursting. Look at this. He runs out. Come on, you gotta watch this. He sees him, he gets excited, and he runs out. He embraces and he kisses his son. He hugs him, he kisses him, and then watch it, watch this. The son is so committed to his speech, he don't even receive and fully get the father's compassion and love. He done been hugged, kissed, embraced, father heart pounded, happy, and the son starts the speech. I sinned against God and before you, and I'm not worthy to be called your son. Take me back as one of your servants. And I love what Peter said. It said that dad wouldn't even listen. Wasn't even paying attention. That's what love does. Oh yeah, I'm messing people up right now. Watch this. If I love you, you saying you're sorry is more about you. Not me. Because this is going to be tough. I'm saying this is tough, what I'm about to say, but I feel it. If I love you, I mean really love you. I mean transcendent love, agape love, unconditional love. That kind of love don't even need a sorry. I want you to hear this. This is tough. This is tough. Because some of y'all right now, you're like, well, he ain't even, I'm talking to me. have offended me, that is more about the need for you and what you need to do to cleanse your own spirit. But my love for you don't hang on your outside. See, I know some of y'all like this. Now, one thing is, now the flip side is, on the other hand, some of y'all say, see, I don't need to tell you I'm sorry. If you're interrupting, anybody looking for a loophole? Here it is. The Father celebrates. He doesn't need a speech. Watch this. He just needs his son.
Come on.
He doesn't need all. Watch this. Come on, Dad. The dad in this story don't even ask key questions. Where you been? Where your money? How'd you spend it? Did you have a budget? In fact, the father, watch this again, who has been silent, watch it, this is key and I'll be done, who has been silent the whole story, when he speaks, doesn't even speak to the son. Watch it. He didn't even talk to the son. When he left, he didn't say nothing. When he comes back, he didn't say nothing. This is tough. See, parents are here having a hard time. Some of the parents like, let me start saying something. Only God can do that. Only God can do this, but I can't. That's why I'm glad I'm not Jesus. No, he does it. And the only time he speaks is to get the party started. Y'all missed it. The only time he talks is to get the party started. Listen, go get the food. Let's go get the music. We about to celebrate. My son, who I thought was dead, is alive. Who I thought was lost, is now found. And he said, watch this, we're going to have a wonderful time. Can I help somebody in here today? Now, there's some of y'all who hear this story and they say, Pastor, that father piece, little tough. You know, like, what scenario would dictate my forgiveness? Now, we're trying to think ways of dealing. So the father, for some of us fathers, or some parents, can be tough. But watch this. Flip it for a second. Let me show you how to make that father piece easier. Switch identities and be the son for a second. Y'all miss something there. You see, what makes you appreciate the father is if you've ever been the son. Because if you've ever been the son, the idea that God celebrates when you get your mind together, that God celebrates when you decide to get your life together and is willing to celebrate you. Now I hope you hear this today, because we are in a time and an age when we're so thirsty for attention, we don't know how to celebrate other people. But if you're really somebody who claims to know God, you ought to be able to celebrate somebody else's breakthrough. God has done something. God has. You hear me? Oh, you can't get a part of it. Thank God that somewhere along the journey, somebody welcomes you back. Somebody opened their arms. Somebody loves you back to life and sustains you. At the end of the day, life is too short. And I'm like the dad. Let's go eat, get it in, have a wonderful time. And then when we all finish, God's going to say, well done. You're good. Faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. And now I'll make you ruler over many. Now, hold on. Most people quote that song, but there's another part to that. It says, now enter into my joy. great dads. Dad, I want to remind you. 1, be the chief facilitator of your children's
Yes.
dreams. 2, let love always keep the door open. And 3, always keep your eye on the road. Oh, let me add a 4. And when your children do good, throw a party. And celebrate. Listen, a couple of things before we go. 1, I want you to do this. Today's one of those grace things. If you're here today, and you may want to be a part of this Fcbc family, even in this new year coming 18, we're going to reimagine what membership looks like. But this is going to be a great thing, because God has been showing us some stuff during this fast. And I want to thank all of you who've been fasting with us again and praying with us. So after church today, if you feel like you want to be a part of Fcbc in some way, you can come down to the front, my left, your right. Our journey team will be here. If you want to become a part of this fellowship, you can do it. You don't have to come down the aisles today. You just come right over here. I mean, somebody, and here's the big part, somebody may have come in today saying, I'm going to join today. I'm walking today. And guess what? You ain't got to walk now. Come on down to the front after service. That's one. But now I want to do, and I've been doing these calls for prayer for fathers today. And I did it last service, but I want to also do it again because I feel the pull. And last service, it was deep. And I was going to let it go because I know it's real. Now, a few things in here. This takes honesty again. I'm not going to let this one go. And last service, I sat there and I waited. I didn't move on until people complied. This is important. You see, all of us who've been fathers, none of us have been perfect. We've made mistakes. But there's something that somehow in our culture, we've made assumptions about the roles of fathers on this level. We'll say something like, dad is the protector and the provider. And mom is the nurturer, the love and affection. And I'm going to tell you, that's a myth and a lie. Don't let that be the role. So you're the one who sit around with your arms folded, talking, I'm dad. And there's been children who would have wished they had a hug and a kiss from their father. And again, this ain't no daddy beat. I'm just telling you, as a father, I made sure I never wanted my children to be able to ever count how many times I said I love you. And there's some people who can count how many times their father said, I love you. I never wanted my children to be able to count that. Never. And then you don't get no points for saying stuff like, well, I was raised and my father was tough love and that's how. No. You didn't like it, so what makes you think your children like it? So at some point, you gotta be the dad who's gonna break that cycle. So I want to do this call. I didn't do it at 7:30. I did a different call, but I did this one at 9:30. And this takes honesty and courage and a kind of attitude. Because one, we're not judging, but when you don't care what people think, this is about you and your healing and your breakthrough. It's just your love. So, but I want to make a call for today. Because here it is. As long as your children are alive and you're alive, you never stop being daddy. I'm gonna tell you, they may not listen to you. I said this morning, I told my mother's like, I'm always your mom, I don't care. She called me actually after the first surgery, I said that, she said, I see you talking about me again. And I was like, there have been times I'm trying to be, flex my mom. Nah, mom, I'm your pastor. She'd be like, nah, I'm your mom. That means as long as you're a parent, and as long as you're growing and evolving, how your parent grows and evolves. At 65, 25, you can still correct damage done at 35. I know it. And so I'm going to do a special call. Here it is. For the fathers, and this is tough. I know it is because it took a while for anybody to move last service. One who know that they haven't been as loving and as affectionate. Doesn't mean they don't love, but haven't been as affectionate and as loving as they know they could have been. Maybe because that was modeled to you, but now you can even change that. Your kids can be 25, 30, you can change it. And part of the reason why you weren't like that is because you didn't receive that yourself. You can still plant new seeds. You can still break the cycle. And it's okay, because I know oftentimes we can only give what we receive. Which means the man who doesn't know how to be affectionate and love didn't necessarily receive that the way it should have been. And so I want to make that call to fathers here today. One, fathers who know they haven't been as affectionate and as loving as they should have been, but they're committed to evolving even now. Even now, that you can still grow and still become a better father, and still, because you've done great, but you know, I know those blind spots. And so those fathers who are here today, who want to invite God into their own evolution as a father, to become even more loving and more affectionate. You know that I want you to come here today. Don't wait. I'm telling you, don't think about who's there, who's around, who's watching. You just come. Why what you're doing today is so powerful and so profound. Here's what I want. And brothers, I want you to look down and look up to it. This. How many children are here who wish they had a more affectionate and loving relationship with their dad? Come on. See? You see? I want y'all to see this, which means that this is what? Important. All right, now y'all turn back around. There are countless children who want that. And guess what? Even when they grown on the low, they still want it. And we can still shift this thing and break this cycle. See, you gotta say that just because I didn't get it, don't mean I can't get it. You understand? That's powerful and beautiful thing. So one, I commend y'all for just coming today. This is a hopeful moment for them too. And if they're not here, they don't have to see it. Watch this. They don't even have to know it, because you're going to show them. Right? What that means, what that looks like. Again, we make mistakes. That's gone. Right? Now we can faith forward and move forward. This way. And blow our family's mind. Blow our children's mind. You know? It's only now, my son, who all boys and men are saying, but you ever hear two men say I love you to one another? That'd be the fastest phrase. You don't even hear the identifying words that well. It's like one word, love you, love you. And so I had to tell my son one time, I said, bro, slow that sentence down. I didn't hear each word, I love you. All right? And be all right with that. I embarrass my kids too. You know, I told them this one, somebody said, your children spoiled. I know. I spoiled them. You know why? We got this thing in our mind. If I had it tough, you gotta have it tough. Man, you crazy. If I had it tough, You shouldn't have it tough. That's backwards. I struggle, you gotta, no. I struggle to make the path easier for you. And you know what happens? That child who's still looking for that love will be the man still looking for that love, will be the father still looking for that love. So while we pray, I want you all out there just intercede for these brothers who've come here today. Brothers, put your arms around one another. Let's go to God. God, we just thank you for the courage and transparency of these your sons who've come here today, oh God, not to confess sin or fault, no, but to acknowledge a desire for evolution, for growth, for transformation, to begin to grow as a father, to nurture and to love and to be affectionate. God, we need to change these stereotypes and we need to dismantle these myths. There's nothing more powerful than when a man can love and love without fear. So God, we thank you for this moment. And God, you've been our greatest teacher. Your son has been the model. And so we want to follow that lead. God, thank you for these men who've come. They're stronger. Continue to grow them in their love and their affection. Continue to grow them as fathers and parents, God. Thank you. And we stand in solidarity with them. And for some, we even stand in the gap for them, God. But that's what it means to be a community that cares and loves and works. For we live, we love, and we serve together, God. So God, again, thank you for them. And whatever has gone wrong in the past, God, we're not going to let that hamper our progress now. We're going to move forward. This is a new day, a new opportunity. Growth is on the agenda, and God, we are complying with it. So God, touch each and every one of them. Open their hearts, open their soul, open their spirit. Let even their families be shocked by their transformation. Let their children be changed by their transformation, God. God, we know you will do it. We believe it, oh God. And oh God, all the negative energy that would try to bring them back to places that they're moving from, God, we bind it. We bind them. And we'll try to undo this stance they've taken today. God, we love you. Oh, we love you so much. God, we love these brothers, these fathers on this day. Have your way, God. What we don't know, show. What we can't do, strengthen. And what we can't see, open our eyes. Have your way. So in your name, oh God, we pray. And we, your children, we say amen. 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 Come on, get somebody help. Come on, brother. About 15 minutes. Come on, Fcbc, it's giving time. And before we move into the announcements, let me say this. Let's give it up for our men who led us in praise and worship. Young brothers are saints. So y'all have been ready to dance. I'm going to call them again real soon. Right, so we got to encourage the man. All right? Yes. I'm trying to tell everybody looking at.
I know you thought that we had forgotten all about you. But on behalf of the staff and the entire First Baptist Church family, we will present to you this beautiful bouquet of flowers. And every time you look at it, think of what you
Oh my God. Thank you.
Pastor, you know how much you mean to Tristan and I. This is for you from him. Open it up.
Come on. So I know, I have an idea what this is. I think so. Oh, let's see, crazy. See, most people know that I collect, no, that's not all. I collect swords. And I know how to use them too. Oh man. Well, I can't pull it. Got really tired this thing. I need a sword to get to the sword. Okay, I want to do it like this. Wow. I'm gonna pull the sword out because I can't see the sheath. Beautiful. Poppy, this is what God said. Poppy, they said, God and you are my protectors. Tristan. Now, I wish somebody would say something. All right. Now I'm ready. All right. It is giving time. Come on, let me just say this. Many of you got surveys today about the Dream Center. Now, as we're in this season preparing for our evolution, our next evolution as a church, the Dream Center wants to know some feedback from you as we begin to prepare to evolve and give new programming. And so if you got a survey during this announcement, it takes 2 seconds. Just fill it out very quickly. The purple baskets are for the surveys. The black baskets are for your offering and tithe. All right? Good. As you fill out that survey, get ready to honor God with your giving. Let's pay attention to the announcements on the screen.